Sanity reigns as the Minnesota Vikings and Justin Jefferson agree to a $140 million contract over 4 years with $110 million guaranteed. This makes Justin Jefferson obviously the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. That was always going to happen. But more critically, he becomes the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, cementing his status as a transformative player. And that's really the thing here. I say sanity reigns because it was just nauseating that we ever had to deal with any sort of headlines and rumor mongering and tweets of like, oh, might the Vikings trade Justin Jefferson? I mean, give me a break. When you land on a transformative player like this, you don't just dangle him around in trade offers just because you're scared to give him a big contract. You pay players like this. When you land on an elite player, you don't just let him walk out of the door if you're a well-run franchise. And I think that's what the Vikings are here. So he is that good of a player. He's elite at every part of the position. I mean, you truly just can't say enough good things about a player like him who, if he continues his current path, he's going to end up being a Hall of Famer. You can find good players throughout the course of the draft at wide receiver. You can't find transformative players like that. When you do find one, you pay one. Now, that kind of brings me to my last point here, which is CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Ayuk, two other players from that 2020 class that are looking for contract extensions at the wide receiver position. These things do kind of tend to happen, like when one domino falls, the next one falls. We've seen that with Devontae Smith into Nico Collins, into Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown in there as well. We've seen that happening at wide receiver this offseason anyways. I think now that Jefferson happens, CeeDee Lamb's people can go to Dallas and say, hey, we want that deal, maybe just a little bit less. And if Dallas is smart, if they're a well-run franchise, that's exactly what they'll give him. Same thing in San Francisco with Brandon Ayuk. Again, I know you can find useful wide receivers throughout the course of the NFL draft, but you can't find truly elite, just maybe in Ayuk's case, maybe just off the elite tier. I think Brandon Ayuk is right there. You can't just find those guys anywhere in the draft. You can't just find players that you can build the entire offensive plane around. That's what we're talking about with these wide receivers. And that's why if these teams are smart, they'll pay them.